We established a three-tier service system about 13 years ago, and we have done this by setting up a hotline. Through the hotline, clients can get advice and referrals, and we can assist a much greater number of clients than we previously did through an appointment process. We also have clinics in the areas of dissolution of marriage and bankruptcy for clients who are able to help themselves through the process. And like a traditional legal aid office, we provide representation to clients in a number of areas which our client community has deemed to be priorities.
Rather than letting someone else take the lead and hoping that somebody will come up with a solution, there is a tendency in this organization, which I think is part of its soul again, to say, okay, this is the problem that the poor person or disadvantaged person is facing. Now, what can we do to serve them? What can we do to reach them? What can we do to better represent them?
And I like the Legal Aid Society's method of attacking a problem. It's a layered approach where on one layer we've got counselors and attorneys who can deal with families one-on-one, but above that we have programs like clinics.
Legal Aid Society of Orange County also was really an innovator in building those partnerships with courts. They were one of the very first programs that forged a really strong relationship with the court to make sure that self-help happened.
One of the most significant things that Legal Aid has done to increase services to clients was establishing Amicus Publico, which is now the Public Law Center. Bob Cohen had the idea of establishing Amicus Publico and worked with Judge Warren Ferguson, Justice Sheila Sonnenschein, Justice John Trotter, Frank Guavedo, Gar Schallenberger, and others to establish Amicus Publico, which began in 1981 as part of Legal Aid.
So not only has Legal Aid spawned the 50 years of its own organization, but it also spawned the work of another organization that is flourishing in this county.
The Legal Aid Society of Orange County has made such a difference in so many people's lives for 50 years. In 2007 alone, the Legal Aid Society closed over 16,000 files. 16,000 cases, not meaning 16,000 people, because obviously each case impacts numbers of families. Since its inception, it has handled over 400,000 cases. The Legal Aid Society would be nothing without its staff, and the staff, the interns, the volunteers that work at the Legal Aid Society are world class. The closer you look, the better they look.
It's the people who make the difference, and Legal Aid in Orange County is blessed to have been started by Pat Herzog and to have its work continued by Bob and Chris.
My first memory of Legal Aid in Orange County was not the organization itself, but rather the person who was on the board at that time, which was Wally Davis. He epitomized the essence of a dedicated person, a person truly committed to the people of the community. When someone asks, what can the Bar Association of today do? And it seems to me that there are two pieces that come to mind. The first one is probably the most important, which is to absolutely support the right of legal services, the need, the necessity, the absolute core part of our society to represent the rights and needs of poor people. There is nothing more important. All the rest, whether who funds it, who gets the funds, how many people volunteer, all of that kind of disappears if you don't start with the premise that the poor need and should receive legal assistance.
So we all have an obligation to support legal aid by our time, by our dollars, and by our interest. Legal problems are not problems of lawyers, they're not necessarily even problems of the people who are experiencing the particular issues, but they're problems of the society in which we live.
The other piece you don't allow to happen, which is something that private lawyers can do, is to allow the issue of, well, there's poor people that don't need to be poor. if they only went to the school, or if they stopped drinking, or if they didn't use drugs, or whatever other reason they give, they wouldn't be poor, you know. And therefore, why are we helping? Well, you know, that's a different. How they got poor is a beautiful escape from the reality and the core question, which is, do we have poor people in this society, and what do we do to help them in their legal problems, and with the ultimate hope, in my opinion, of making them able to be part of the larger society in a more effective way.
There's all kinds of issues that I think the Legal Aid Society could use help with, and therefore, no matter what area of law you practice in, I think there are opportunities for you to join with the Legal Aid Society and provide some pro bono service to the society and to its clients too, for that matter.
There's probably nothing harder or sadder to see than someone who is being hurt and has no resources, no access to resources.
그 시간들이 견디기가 힘들어서 자살을 시도하게 되었고, 소셜워커에 의해서 정신병원에 가게 되었습니다.
It got too hard, so I tried to commit suicide. I asked for help from social workers.
The lawyer in Orange County Legal Aid, she can't just do her job, right? But she worked more for me. I don't have any family in here. I don't have enough money to live here. I don't know how can I help her legally. Now I think I'm really strong to overcome my life. And even my kids, they are getting better. Someone who has a problem like me, don't give up. Never give up.
We need an organization like Legal Aid Society to point out that, no, it's not just for the powerful, it's not just for the wealthy, it's for everyone. It's your legal system, it's your justice system. And for it to be just, it has to be just for all people, without regard to race, color, creed, economic status, or anything else.
We said, look, you have to decide what your mission is, and you have to carry out your mission. You don't just say what your mission is. It is not just some sentence on a damn piece of paper somewhere. You live your mission. And this organization, in my opinion, has lived its mission.